Hey guys, Savage Joy here with Real Progressives. Tonight I am joined by a California congressional candidate who is a Berniecrat running for, let's see, District 53. So everybody welcome Mr. Jose Caballero. I found him on Twitter. He was one of the recommendations. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, Jose.
Absolutely. I'm honored to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Doing those threads is kind of like, because sometimes, I get people who I'm like,
Yeah,
because like
no, I
you go to their
understand.
page and there's like Pelosi praise and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
but
Not
when I
on my
saw
page.
you, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Even like when you saw, I'm sure you saw the photo on my website with me and Bernie and my
yes,
fiance. Like we're all hugging him at San Diego. So yep, he's on my website.
yes. That's awesome. And you guys know how happy it makes me. He has actually endorsed Bernie. And do you want to share about what you told me about California
Oh,
endorsing Bernie?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I actually am the only candidate in San Diego County. So there's 5 congressional districts, and I'm the only congressional candidate that's challenging anyone that has actually endorsed Bernie Sanders. So, I did it the day that he announced officially. I was groggy that morning, waking up, rubbing my eyes. I was like, oh, I have to endorse him now. So I just did it publicly right there
Damn
on
right.
the spot. So it was like, yeah. So it was like no brainer for me.
Awesome, awesome. And what made you decide to run? I know you were a 2016 delegate for Bernie, which is awesome. So I was telling Jose I was there, but I was on the outside, just kind of shaking the fence and cursing and screaming. So what made you decide to go and actually take his advice and run?
Well, I mean, going to convention was huge, and actually at the time I was actually running as a city council candidate when I was running for San Diego City Council here in 2016. So I had the honor of being on the same ballot as Bernie. Fortunately, we both suffered defeat, but I did use that as a catalyst to ensure that we kept Bernie's message going forward. We ran as a delegate and we won. And that was really powerful. And then we went to DC, and then when Bernie said, go join the parties, be a part of it, go and do political action. And then with AOC's victory and everything kind of moving forward, I was like, well, I have to fight against this establishment Democrat that is taking money from defense contractors. She is only passed 2 bills since she's been in Congress for 20 years. She's just basically keeping the seat warm. And so for me, I was like, well, the world is at stake, so we gotta push her. And she wasn't for the Green New Deal when I announced, and then right, crazy enough, a month later, she was for the Green New Deal. So we already are doing the job. So it's very, very powerful
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. That's one of the things I always tell my candidates that, even if you aren't fully successful in winning, the fact of the matter is you are inadvertently making them go more left.
Yes.
Whether that alone, if you get them to like sign documents in the progressive caucus and stuff just for running, bring it.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely.
It's totally worth it.
And it's funny because she's so late to signing on to the Green New Deal. The people in San Diego, including the media, are like, "Oh, you signed the Green New Deal because Jose is running in your race," and that's basically what pushed that forward. And it's great because Sunrise Movement and the local 350 group, they've all said that, yeah, Jose, you've played a part in making that happen. So yeah, it's super exciting, and we're going to try to get her on Medicare for all next, because she's not for that,
Awesome.
So she's one of 20 congressional members out of the 53 in the state of California that does not support Medicare for all. So we got to get her out. We got to get her out.
Wow. Is it just you two running against each other?
Well, there's other candidates that have stepped into the race. They seem to be dogpiling now. I feel like once I stepped into the race and provided that cover shot, where people are like, oh, we can run as Democrats against a Democrat. I feel that people are starting to swarm in. Nobody of major note that I'm particularly concerned about. I actually have already received the San Diego Progressive Democratic Club endorsement, which is the local Our Revolution chapter endorsement. We've already received the progressive DA candidate from 2016. She was, not 2016, sorry, for 2018. She was running for DA. I got her endorsement, as well as the sheriff, who was progressive, that was also running for this for those. So I have two giant liberal progressive criminal justice endorsements right off the bat there. So also have like a couple endorsements in like Connecticut for a governor candidate that I was running out there. So I have like the mayor of Middletown's Connecticut endorsement, which is fun. And then a few other local officials locally as well. So yeah, we're getting support. It's really great. I mean, with those people, but really where the support where I'm growing is most exciting is the national Bernie support, the progressive movement, as they're starting to push all of these candidates forward. That's where everything's getting exciting.
Absolutely. If there's any group of people who can push people to get elected, it's Burners. Yeah. Like, we are definitely devout, and we're like, oh, you like Bernie? Okay. Phone banking, Canvas, where's your website? Where do we donate? Like, we get hardcore.
And just to give you an example of that, here in San Diego County, I was have the honor of being one of the founders of the San Diego Progressive Democratic Club, and it was created by a group of Burners, and we created it to be an establishment, to go into the establishment of the party, to infiltrate as an actual body. So the San Diego Progressive Democratic Club came into existence, and over that period of time, with the Burners and progressives that have come into that club, we have infiltrated to the point where we now have the chair of the county party, who was elected by 9 votes, and that's a very deep internal election. So we actually have like the formation of a progressive Democratic county party, and it's here in San Diego. And so things are changing. Like my vice president of my administration, she actually became the director of administration of the county party as well. So we're writing bylaws, we're changing it. And it was because Bernie said, go and infiltrate the party, go and win these seats, these delegate seats, these central committee seats, and just start running the machine. And we have been running the machine. And things have gotten a lot easier for a candidate like myself, who would be perceived as an outsider coming in. I already, as a member of the body of the Central Committee, I'm coming in as an outsider. So a lot of people aren't so upset with me challenging one of their own, because at the end of the day, they know she hasn't been aggressive on anything, and she's been there for 20 years and her time is up. They have more influence with our candidacy than hers. So that's kind of where we're starting to start the equation, is because we did what Bernie said. We got involved.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a question here I apologize if I say this wrong, Evelina. She wants to know if you're getting Latinos involved.
Yes, absolutely. We are definitely close to the border. We're in District 53. We are a few miles of separation between us and the border district, and so we are pushing for the immigration. We have a huge rally, call it Close the Camps rally, that's happening on the 12th. So we're actually going to be doing a huge amount of clipboarding at our campaign event for that. We're actually starting the Spanish translation. I'm Latino myself, so I draw a certain demographic of interns, and in fact, I have an intern that's coming in 2 days that is going to be doing a lot of my call time management. So we're going to also pay our workers $15 an hour, and we're going to give them a right to a union. So we're going to be hiring a lot of people from the parts of the district of Bonita, East Chula Vista, that is higher Latino populations, and we're going to make sure that we bring young Latinos and Latinx people into our campaign to talk to the people in their neighborhoods and give them a living wage while they do it. So I know that's a long answer for the question, but I hope that answers it.
I was going to ask your living wage position next anyway, so yes. It's all good.
Yes.
That's really awesome. That's amazing. It's let me see. I'm just scanning these. Did you canvass for Bernie in Reno?
In Reno, no, I did not, unfortunately. I was focused on my city council campaign at that point, but what I did do is I made sure to get volunteers for my campaign at the time when I was running for city council to go and knock on doors for me. And if they had Bernie lit, well, they knocked on their doors for Bernie too. So we did definitely create a lot of events where Berners could come and go pick up a list and go knock on some doors. So
awesome.
Yeah.
There, I'm also, for you guys watching, I co-organized one of the events that Jose was just talking about for Friday. I co-organized it with two other women. So I'll be live streaming from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern this Friday. So we have some Muslim speakers from the community who are just incredible, and you know, some a few immigrants. So it's going to be a really probably a very emotional experience, and then we're having a candlelight vigil after. So but that'll be Friday. That's I digress. Great. I just
no, it's an important rally. Everybody that has one close by needs to go. It's going to be a national call to action. So go if you can. It's very, very critical to stand in solidarity. I mean, this is the beginning of tyranny. This is how the worst chapters of history start, is where we are right now. And we have to stand up and say no. And it's this disgusting that it's literally miles away from me, and it's gross. It's disturbing.
That's I can't fathom being so close to it.
Right.
And do you have like a big ICE presence in your community, in your district?
It's everywhere. You know, we you know, people. So there's a lot of issues going on. So we have. I work with different progressive activists that are doing a lot of the migrant work, where the ICE officials will literally take people in vans in the dead of night and drop them off at random corners of the street, hoping that they can just, like, I don't know what they're hoping for. They dump them, but we actually have progressive activists on the ground that actually scoop up these people and take them to their homes. You're talking about people opening up 1-bedroom homes with a futon, right? Like, you know, allowing migrant families to come and stay, to just get them as a way station. We've had to create that way station through volunteer efforts. It's absolutely horrifying. You know, we also have the fact that, you know, people are being rounded up. I'm sure you've seen videos coming from the San Diego area, that you know, people are being pulled from the arms of their children walking to school, you know, and it is horrific. So they're everywhere. You know, you know, they're deeply in parts of all the city, but being one of the largest international borders in the world here in San Diego, there are a lot here. There is definitely a lot here, and, you know, people are being separated, and it's disturbing. So
yeah. Absolutely. What is Evan has a question. Would you push for extending Medicare for all, Social Security benefits, and for the undocumented?
Well, the way that I see it is, if they're coming in to work in our country and they are providing and they are, you know, being productive members of society, I say, why not? I mean, the idea of citizenship is something that just kind of gives us the pass to just stay in America with no questions asked. But if somebody has a work permit, which I believe, you know, kind of dovetails into the idea of where we are, where my immigration reform is, what I'm looking at is that I want to basically create a one-page intake that allows, you know, migrants to come into this country and be able to do a quick, you know, international background check. If they come back, you know, clear, then they can then come into this country with a work permit, so they can immediately start working and start providing for their families. They can start providing for the economy with the business owners, and then we can then, you know, have them pay into the taxes that we all do as employment. Right? We pay employment taxes, we get income tax returns and things of that nature as well. They need to provide to the same economy that we do. We just shouldn't just take their money, right, and not give any of it back. They're paying higher tax rates than people in America. So the idea that we can't give healthcare benefits, education benefits, social security benefits to the most vulnerable populations in our society is a travesty. And really, when you talk about social security, on top of that, you're talking about what? You're talking about people with disabilities, because you're talking about younger people. We don't see a glut of elderly migrants coming into this country. These are normally able-bodied families that are coming in to this country. So Social Security, it would be such a drop in the bucket anyway. It's a pretty controversial stance, but I will say that, you know, if that bill came forward, I would not hesitate, you know, standing for it, you know, in Congress, because it's just basic human rights. I mean, what's the alternative? Having them suffer with abscess in the street, or, you know, having, you know, illness, you know, it's like the alternative is horror. And so just give them healthcare. Like, it's simple as that. So I know it's a long-winded answer again, but yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. And at some point, as Americans, we're going to have to accept the fact that one of the reasons that a lot of people are immigrants is because we caused them to be immigrants by bombing the hell out of their countries and everything else. So I mean, it's if you care about humanity,
Right.
period, you should be okay with these things. You should be okay with us helping people who need it. It really comes down to, are you a good person?
Yeah, and you know, the idea and the biggest argument to it would be cost. What are you saying? You're just going to give this money away to these people? It's like, cost is relative. You know, we talk about cost all the time when it comes to people, but we never talk about the cost of bombs. We never talk about the defense contractors. Like, the cost of that bomb, or those bombs or drones that we're sending overseas, can easily pay for everybody's healthcare, like, you know, and the immigrants' healthcare 10 times over, right? So the idea that it's not affordable is a farce. It's a farce.
Are you familiar with MMT?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, cool.
I am. Yeah. Scarcity is a lie. No, but no, you know, so MMT, I believe we already live in it. I believe that it is already happened, because, you know, if you look at metrics, you know, we're overdue for a crash. But it's not crashing. And I think it's because the economy has gotten so robust and so large. Like, if you think about the fact that we dumped $7 trillion into the economy over the quantitative easing that happened, and they're saying that it could be even more, like up to 17. So like, the numbers are kind of wonky when it comes to it, but we dumped trillions of dollars into the economy during the Obama administration, and the economy just gobbled it up without even flinching. Inflation didn't go up, nothing happened. It was just like the economy just gobbled it up and then just used it. So I am very familiar with MMT. When it comes to speaking about MMT on my campaign, it's a little bit more difficult because it's a very wonky argument. A lot of people don't. And MMT is a modern monetary theory for everyone, but I think that everyone should look it up and really start getting versed with what it is, because we as progressives need to bring it down to a really bite-sized talking point. And I don't think we are there yet, because it's such a new idea. It's like, oh, I'm going to come in and throw the economy out the window. Everything that you know and you've grown up with this American system is a lie, and it needs to be completely changed. That makes you seem a little conspiratorial, right? Even though the data and the science and everything that tells you about the business, you know, the way the economy works says one thing, people are afraid to say what it actually is saying. And so yes, I'm very familiar, and I'm still working on that. So everybody's getting kind of like a sneak peek of the beginnings of how I'm going to be able to talk about this in a mass scale. But yeah, it's reality. It's the future. It's what it is already, and we just need to be real with it and start talking about how we spend our money rather than if we have enough.
You're making people very happy in the comments, because that's like our specialty.
Oh, great.
So I don't always get candidates to know what it is.
Yeah.
So that was half the battle.
All right, great.
But and then Bernie welcomed back Stephanie Kelton
Mm.
for his economic advisor, who is like the queen of MMT. So that's that's always good. So
Yeah,
she's a
absolutely.
rock star.
Yeah. I'm so excited about because the way Bernie looks at the economy is just the way it's supposed to be, and bringing on intelligent minds and scholars into the conversation and saying, look, this is the way the economy is. I'm just going to define it now. I think that is what she's going to do, and that's what Bernie's going to do. I mean, Bernie's already echoing it with the democratic socialism speech, right? Like it's about what we spend our money on. We have a treasure. Like nothing has ever existed like the American economy. It just can't be taken down, even with Trump's greatest efforts. Like I'm talking, Trump is trying. And he's realizing that this money pit is endless, and he can just completely rob as much as he wants. That's why we live in a kleptocracy, So for them, they're like, whoa, we just found the endless pot of money, and it's because this is the way our economy works. And if it is a very difficult way to frame it. And I think Bernie is going to do a very good job with on this, and I hope that he brings it up more. It's just scary for a lot of people.
It is. And especially because for 40 years, he's been like saying something different.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So now for him being exposed to MMT and stuff, he kind of, you can tell he chooses his words wisely sometimes, but I think, fingers crossed, if he gets elected, I think we're going to see some evolution within him as well. Absolutely. Gregory, a teammate, wants to know, do you support a federal job guarantee?
Yeah, I do. Because I think there is plenty to be done with the green new economy that we need to bring on forward. It's what helped build our freeways. I mean, we can do the same with rail. We can do the same with all the green energy systems that we have in this country. We have plenty of retrofitting to do to buildings. So I think that there's a lot of things that need to be done. Even to say, like, when we have Medicare for all, we're going to need to hire more people who can do the work of administrating healthcare. Because the private healthcare industry, when they get absorbed by the federal government after Medicare for all happens, we're going to need to employ more people just so we can do that. So I think it's pretty easy to do. Because the government's just going to dump a ton of resources into industry, and we need manpower, man and women power. We need to push it through, and so I think that it's not even going to hurt us to do it. So yeah, I absolutely do. Yeah.
No, yeah, it would get rid of homelessness. I mean, unemployment. It would help austerity to diminish. Poor word usage, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, and that's the best way I think the government can make money is to give it to its citizens, and the citizens give it back in return. Like that's the way an economy works. It's like a respiratory system, in and out. And that's kind of what the economy should be. And if the government has work to be done, then just do it. Why are we pretending that we don't have the resources to do it?
Right. I mean, if we have 11 years left to try to fight climate change, how else can we accomplish windmills and, all the different green energy things, solar panels? How can we do all this shit without a Green New Deal?
Right.
And without a federal job guarantee? It's not feasible. It's just not. And interestingly enough, Bernie is the only one who has that on his platform.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody else does. And Tulsi has been asked, she does not support it.
Okay.
She seems to think that it means you're locked into a job. She's not understanding that you're still an at-will employee. You can go wherever you want. It just means, like, if a job doesn't work out, you get a new one.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of things to do,
Yeah.
and people get a lot to pick from, and even if it's they call them shovel-ready jobs back in the Depression days, right? It's like, hey, these people that grabbed those shovels and did that work built the backbone of our infrastructure that is now crumbling. So we need to do it again, and I think people would be more than willing to work for the federal government as long as it puts a paycheck in their hands so they can feed their families. They don't care who's paying them as long as it's getting paid in the end of the day.
Right. Absolutely. Another thing that goes with federal job guarantee would be a minimum of $15 an hour. Is that enough? No, but I mean, like, I'm in Pennsylvania right now. Ours is $7.25.
Yeah.
Who the hell can live on that, especially as a mom, or it's incredible. So with the federal job guarantee, people can quit working like 3 jobs,
right,
and actually work 1. Let's see, comment about let's see. Electric cars, we need charging stations. One thing I did want to talk to you about was you had kind of a similar take, and now I can't freaking think of which presidential unimportant candidate it was. It might have been Bennett. I'm not sure. They all look the same to me.
I know.
He was talking about by 2050. He wants to have all this stuff done. I forget which one.
No, it was. I actually tweeted at him from that. It's John Delaney. It was John Delaney.
Delaney.
That's I actually replied and retweeted his tweet. But yeah, he basically said that, we can have all these things. We can't have these things in 12 years. That's bad or impossible politics. And then he said, but we can have all the same things reworded. And then with like a weaker college policy, and we can do this by 2050. And I tweeted at him. I was like, so you're saying that your presidency is going to be set up 22 years after you have served? Like, even if you served 2 years, he would still be 22 years later. And it's like the definition of a useless administration.
Right.
Yeah, it's like
I'm already 40. I'm gonna be dead. What the hell is this dude talking about? Like, seriously.
2050. I mean, Florida is gonna have a lot of problems.
Yeah. It was just incredible. And what always blows my mind is not just when they post stuff like that, but when it gets a lot of loves. Like, it gets a lot of shares. You can be like, they're just making fun of them, but it gets a lot of the hearts.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, people actually think this is a good idea.
We booed him off the stage in California. We booed him off the stage in California.
Yeah, I saw that. It was
it was great. I loved it. It was there. I was yelling, boo! I was like, get out of here! Like, it was crazy.
And then Knuckle Hopper too. That was great.
Yeah. Frackin' Looper.
He trolls Bernie. Like, he literally goes on Bernie's Twitter. And like comments on his Twitter.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
That's so pathetic.
It's like, I'm just trying to get some followers. Just trying to get
exactly.
I hate that people have to Bernie. It's like, it's
oh my God. I gotta say though, one of the things that's awesome is, while all the candidates are scrambling to make enough money for the next debate, like, we made enough for all 12 debates the first day we announced. So that's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. The Bernie machine is real. People need to just accept it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in your district, is it are people very politically active?
So yes. So you have the central part of San Diego, which is probably like the Bernie base of San Diego. It's like your north part, south part. I'm just saying names, but anyways, it's like the central portion of San Diego. It has the highest propensity of Bernie donors in that area, and it actually has the most like people between the ages of 25 and 40. So it's really like in the age range of like the millennials, I guess. And so They're very politically active. We have the San Diego Progressive Democratic Club, like I said. We have the West chapter out there that's doing a lot of really great work. And then basically after you start going east, it starts getting a little bit more sparse as far as like political activism. You have a really strong regional club in the in the north eastern part of the district, and then at the south part of the district you have a lot of nonprofit groups that basically there to turn out Latino votes and such, which is great. I'm happy with those organizations as well. But yeah, we've done a lot of work, and we've gotten a lot of really strong political representation in our district, for sure. We've put a lot of work.
Awesome. Amanda wants to know, is Jose part of our Rev or Justice Democrats?
Well, I am not part of Justice Democrats yet, but I am seeking their endorsement. Our revolution, I have been endorsed with a local chapter here in San Diego County, so that's being sent up to the national. So fingers crossed there. I think we're going to be getting that endorsement, hopefully, because our club has been known to push that out very well.
You're a Bernie delegate. If you don't get it, that's bullshit, okay?
I know. I agree. But I would love if you guys would like to nominate me to the Justice Democrats. I'm trying to get as many nominations in as possible just to make sure that they keep getting pinged to know that we're a priority race. It's particularly the fact that we are a very strong, we're the most Democratic district in the entire county of San Diego. So there's no way in hell a Republican can ever win here. It's an impossibility. So what we can do is once we win this seat, we will keep it solidly progressive. I mean, keep it, like it will not change. And we would never be voted out because we are swinging for the fences and we're the most aggressive, and people will just vote for the person that's been there now, and da-da-da-da. Well, you know how it goes with the incumbency. But the reason we're going to win again is when we win is because we've done the work and knocked on all the doors, and we're going to continue to do that every campaign because we knock on doors. We don't do commercials and to put trash in your mailbox. We don't believe in that type of campaign.
Right. The internet's wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you actually, are running against other people, are you the only one who does not accept corporate money, or have others? I
don't even know. I mean, these campaigns are pretty small and non-existent. I would assume that I think one of them is, but I'm not sure. I don't think they're even savvy enough to understand that that's an important thing to do. I hate to say that, but there's a lot of people who just run because it's a hobby or a thing that they've always wanted to do. So we'll see how those campaigns shake out at the end of the day.
Do you think that the incumbent will have the guts to debate you?
Actually, yes. She's already told me that she's agreed to a debate. So I met with her about a month and a half ago, and she said obviously wait until closer to the election, but she did agree that she would be willing to do a debate. The only thing she said was that she wants it to be neutral, so some neutral organization, which is fine. I don't care. But yeah, she's willing to do it, and you know what? She's going to be in for a world of hurt. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait.
You're sexist.
Yeah.
You're sexist.
I know, right? Get ready for it. But it's going to be interesting because she is 75. She's been there for 20 years, and I'm just going to basically ask her, like, what is your priorities? Like, what is the policy that you want to pass? You've only passed two that have been signed for law. Now she's going to try to say that she's co-sponsored, 200 bills that have gotten signed into law, but that's like just piggybacking on something. What's your original policy? That's why we're pushing out the Hero's Promise, which is a unique policy that we have authored, which is on my website, but it is going to basically end and mitigate veteran suicide. It is a very, very personal piece to me. I've lost 2 shipmates to suicide already, and I was a reactor operator, so it wasn't like I was in combat. So these things are very real, and that's why we've authored this bill that has 9 planks that protect active duty members as well as veterans when they get out. And it is probably the most it's probably the biggest bill that's ever been or proposed for veterans, I think, ever since probably the GI Bill itself. Or the post 9/11 GI Bill that just passed, because that was really, there were some benefits in there, but I'm talking about housing as a right. I'm talking about education as a right, Medicare, medical as a right, mental health as a right, citizenship as a right. Those are just for the veterans. And then when you got on the active duty side, the ability to file grievance outside your chain of command, sleep and meal protection, making sure that when you go to mental health services that you can see a doctor without reprisal. And lastly, getting a guaranteed end of service pension that is equal time paid up to 6 years, +2 for combat vets. So you do 6 years, you're getting 6 years back of your base pay paid every month. And with that pay, you will have to go to therapy at least once a month. So then you're to be able to receive that pension. So that way it destigmatizes the mental health services. So it actually helps our service members to go because they have to talk about it. It took me several years before I could open up about the traumas and things that the military put on myself, and I was living with all the symptoms for years before that, from the moment I stepped out, and I had no idea, and I had to survive the wilderness of civilian life after being handed everything by being in the military. So we need protection, and that's my original policy. These are the things and we are getting congressional challengers and hopefully representatives themselves to co-sponsor. We've already got several across the country that are ready to sign on to this bill. We're gonna do the work of a congressional member now, because we're building coalitions. We're making laws now. There's no reason for us not to get the work done. We have the capability. So when Susan Davis gets on the debate stage with me, I'm already going to have a bill ready that is going to be passed. And the only thing that the people that co-sponsor that bill are waiting for is for me to get there in Congress to sponsor it. And that's what we're going to do. And that's how we're going to win, because that's from my heart, and that's what we need. And it will set the blueprint for everybody else. And that's what I really want.
Absolutely. That is so kick-ass. And I see a lot of people in the comments love it as well. I lost my cousin to suicide. He did 3 tours in Iraq. Yeah. He committed suicide a week before his 26th birthday. So that's certainly near and dear to my heart as well. And it doesn't get talked about. It really doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And San Diego is a huge veteran town. We lose about 1 veteran daily to suicide in the county of San Diego. Like it is insane, because the statistic is 20 a day nationwide, and that we have 1 in San Diego every day is a tragedy. And the fact that our representatives haven't done anything about it makes me sick. I had a friend that just attempted about 3 months ago. Like, he would have been another statistic, another veteran that day in San Diego. And it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But anyways, you get me started on that. As my passion. But
no, it is so important. That really stands out to me when candidates, the candidates I interview, they all say Medicare for all. I wouldn't interview them if they didn't.
Right.
But you have candidates who have specific policies for mental health as well. And that's such a huge deal. They should have, certain things should have their own kind of asterisk. That should be its own topic, lack of a better term. So that's amazing. And I think, that's something that you're definitely going to be able to share with other candidates and at the very least, at least get exposure for it, with hopes that it passes.
That's the way our campaign is too. Like, any candidate that wants to stand with the hero's promise, I welcome them, and stand with me, because this is about what we're supposed to do, is pass policy. That's why my slogan is because policy matters. Like, when we have real policy that needs to be passed for the sake of this country, I'm ready. I will take anyone who's willing to stand for that. So that's what's going to be really powerful about this, and the fact that we're already coalescing around this as a progressive wave is very powerful, and I'm a veteran for peace. I want to stop all war, right? But that doesn't mean that we don't take care of the people who are serving right now, because I was an 18-year-old kid when I joined. I was brainwashed by Texan ideology, and I was a conservative. I joined because of patriotism. I was a young, dumb kid. And when I had to witness the horrors of war, when I had to get off watch after I was there on watch that morning as a reactor operator, just hearing the thud of every aircraft taking off the top of that aircraft carrier, I was responsible for making sure there was steam demand for that to happen. That dinner time, there was a captain's call where everybody had to watch the closed circuit TV. They came on, the air boss came on, and he was like, all right, I got some great footage to show you. We put warheads on foreheads, watch us blow up some ragheads. And I was sitting there eating, and I dropped my fork, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? I look at the screens, and they show the footage of the mountain passes of Afghanistan with people walking across. You could see them walking in the infrared view. And then you just see the bombs just blow up these people with caravans, just blow them up. And the most disgusting thing was like, there was people cheering around me. And at that moment, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I use my intellect for to help put these bombs on these people? We don't know they're innocent. I can't take the military's word for that. There could have been children in those caravans for all we know. So for me, I basically at that point kind of my heart broke, and then I knew that I was getting out of the military, and I guess my soul search began. And it looped me all the way here to now being a Bernie-crat running for Congress to end the violence, to end the war, to also end the violence within our own ranks. And it is violent, and it's not okay. And so yeah, that's where my passion comes from when I say I'm running for office. Because you're right, Medicare for all is great. We're going to do that. We're going to pass education for all. We're going to do student loan debt forgiveness. We're going to increase Social Security. We're going to do all those things. But when it comes to policy, there isn't a lot of progressive veterans out there. We need to change the narrative, and I want to carry that banner forward to say, look, you don't have to be a conservative to be able to be proud of your country. And I'm not proud of my country right now. We're killing people. We're separating people at the border. And my job and my oath to my office, right, and to the Constitution when I served, was to protect it. And right now, it's under attack. And people aren't happy with being American. And my job as a public servant is to bring that level back where people can be proud again. And it's going to take progressive people to do that. And it needs to be from every walk of life, from veterans, from teachers to scientists to everybody. And we all got to stand up together as progressives. So sorry, soapbox there.
No, I mean, yeah, I have goosebumps. I mean, yeah. Wow, you're awesome. I wish I could vote for you. This is the problem with doing this show. Because, I meet candidates where I'm like, I wonder if I could crash in their basement and they vote, and then I could just like establish a residence. Yeah. You're getting a lot of props in the comments as well. Oh, can you move to New Jersey?
Oh, yeah.
We have someone who wants you in Washington, Princeton.
We have people running everywhere. We're going to support them all. We're going to do it.
They want to clone you, though.
Yeah.
So
very flattering. Thank you.
So I asked Bernie-crats the same question all the time, which is, as people who just got so screwed in 2016 by the Dems, why did you choose to run as a Dem?
I chose to run as a Dem because Bernie said to. When Bernie lost, he was not for a Dem exit. He said, stick with it. We need to transform the party. I understood that Bernie in Vermont politics is independent, and he could have lost his Senate seat by not being independent. So I understand the political calculus there, but he is running for the Democratic nomination. I have been able to use my Democratic Party membership for the progressive good, and transform fundamental institutions here in the county of San Diego's party itself. And it was because of that Democratic Party membership. Because I thought I had to have a long talk with myself. It's like, am I a Democrat? Should I continue the fight to build and strengthen a party that has lost the respect of so many? And it's hard to build a reputation from something that's been so tarnished. But I had to think. I was like, if I chose to leave the party, what would I have done? I just think about, I would have been out alone in the wilderness, having to start a party from scratch. We could have took a decade. And for me, I had to be pragmatic and decide, well, I can get elected as a Democrat sooner than an independent. And guess what? We need people in now to affect the change that we need to change to protect and save the world from climate. So for me, I had to take an impact calculus, which is like, I can leave the party and start anew and do something incredible and great, or I could stay in the party, use that fast track to get in, and then hold the door for everybody else and throw down the rope nets. Because like for me, my plan is to create the blueprint of how to win a suburban district here in San Diego. Like, we're going to use this because it's a very sparse suburban district in San Diego. There's a lot of people that live here. About 200,000 people vote in a given election in the general. So it's a very highly populated election. So what we're trying to do is create the machine so then we can help build the machine everywhere else. So that's what our purpose is to do. And if you have to be a Democrat to do that here, fine. And maybe the other places have more progress where an independent has chances, like Vermont. But outside of that, I just don't see it. And for hell, never going to be a Republican. You can't change that institution. That institution's a little nuts. Like, their ideology, is crazy. But at least in the Democratic Party, if we win the delegates, we can actually affect some change. And we need every little change that we could get. I mean, yeah. So I don't know if that's the answer you wanted, but that's the answer I'm getting.
No, I'm accented personally, but before I started doing my show, I was like, Dem exit, fuck them. But then now that I've interviewed over 120 candidates, I totally understand where you're coming from. Right. Because unfortunately, in a perfect world, I would love people to run as independents, but certain places, it absolutely is not feasible. No. It's just not.
No. The last independent that ran in this race got 2,400 votes. So, but anyways, go on.
And you guys, in case the viewers don't know, California is one of those things, I don't know what they call it, but a jungle primary where you guys have two of the people with the highest votes. It could be two Dems, it could be two Republicans, it could be a Green and a Dem, just the two people with the highest.
So it's likely that it's going to be Susan and I with your help, of course.
That's kind of how it sounds. That's exactly how it sounds.
Yeah.
Now, California gives me some anxiety because last time we lost over 2 million votes.
Yeah.
With all those, over 2 million paper ballots in these red buckets in a back room somewhere. So what can Californians do when it comes to those paper ballots? Because I know the main problem last time was the NPP ballots, and they were putting like highlighter on ones with people with Bernie t-shirts, and then those went missing and all this stuff. So do you I see some people are recommending to just register Dem in California so you just don't have to fuck around with it?
Right. So there's a couple reasons why. So especially for the 2020 primary, to be registered as a Democrat means you get to vote in all the Democratic elections that are happening, including the internal ones, such as the Central Committee. You don't want to be a Democrat, or you don't want to be not even a Democrat. You don't want to be a person that gets a slate of progressive Central Committee delegates at your door one day and realize you can't vote for any of them. We are going to see in the state of California the largest insurgence of Democratic progressive activists infiltrating the Democratic Party, because the Central Committee seats are up and it's a public election. And we know how to knock doors, we know how to get the word out, and we know how to win these elections. So what we're going to be able to do, if everybody registers as a Democrat, is those people can vote for us. Now, another thing to alleviate the other problem of maybe corrupt poll workers, which I hope doesn't happen, but I'm sure it does, is vote by mail. Go and just vote by mail. 70% of the state of California already votes by mail, at least in San Diego County. Vote by mail is going to be the way that it's going to be. I'm pretty sure, like, we're going to get away from polling altogether on polling day. We just drop off your mail. and then you'll know the ballot that you're supposed to get. And if you decide and you open up your mail-in ballot, you realize a week before you decide to drop it in the envelope, you can go, oh wait, I don't know if I need to vote for these people. Well, in the state of California, there's a lot of places that within the week before the election, the registrar of voters is open and ready to accept your ballot. So you can go in and be like, hey, I want to be able to vote this. I want to do it this way. So you can re-register right there and get the ballot that you actually want. So California has done a very good job making the election process more transparent and much easier for the voter to vote. So my recommendations is vote by mail. Make sure you look at your ballot early, especially as progressives. As progressives need to be able to be ready to vote right away. Like, know your election, know it. Don't wait until the last minute. We can't have progressives procrastinating on this, because we need your knowledge to feed it to everybody around you. So the sooner you vote, the sooner you're going to know that you're going to be comfortable with the way you're voting. So you won't have the last minute scramble at the ballot booth being like, oh no, this isn't the ballot I wanted. Now we're going to have problems. And it sucks. I wish it was easier. I wish that these things didn't happen, but we're trying to overtake a system that has been in power for hundreds of years. How are we going to be able to do it unless we follow their rules even better than they do? So you know, I as much as I hate the unfairness, I've had to be. I am positively cynical in a lot of cases, and what I mean by that is this: I believe we can win, but I'm also cynical about the fact that they're going to try to stop us. So what we have to do is we just have to do that much more work, and that includes us progressives at the ballot box, which isn't fun, but it is what it needs to be. In California, we're fortunate that we have a lot of runway. Ballots will be in your mailbox in a month, in February, before the March 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you're living in California, expect your ballot. And also in the state of California, new law is that you can actually turn in people's ballots. So for example, if you have a household of your family and your mom or dad or whatever are being lazy and don't want to do it, you can say, hey, fill out your ballot, I'll turn it in for you. And all you have to do is sign the back of the envelope and then you turn it in. So there's going to be a lot of candidates out there that are going to do ballot sweeps where we're going to go around and ask people if they need help signing out their ballot, and we'll turn it in for you. So those are the few things that California is going to do to make the voting process much more efficient, and make sure every vote is counted. But yeah, the 2016 election was awful. It gives me PTSD to this day. But I think that overall we've infiltrated a lot that we have a more watchful eye than we did in 2016. So we're going to see these rule change coming a mile away, because we have people in the room that are brilliant progressive activists that know the election laws like the back of their hand, and they're going to be watching like a hawk. So yeah, I think we're going to be in a good place. But that's my cynical optimism to talk.
I'm probably going to steal that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I forget who. I think Kevin, it might have been you. But somebody asked, how do they know that their mail-in ballot would be counted? I know when I interviewed a few people from Washington State, they get a tracker number on theirs that it shows up when it's counted in the computer system. Do they do something like that in Cali?
Yes, you can. So you go to your local registrar of voters website. Here in San Diego, it's sdvote.com. You type in your I think your last name and your street address. It pops up your status. It says if your mail-in ballot's been delivered, if it's been received, if it's been counted. It gives you the whole lifespan of your ballot, from the day it's delivered to the day it's in the office to the day it's counted. So it's actually very, very effective.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So is there oh, okay, here we go. Gregory, a teammate, wants to know, do you support ranked choice voting?
I do. I do. In fact, it's kind of funny. I actually proposed a bylaw change to the county party to change the way we endorse here locally to a ranked choice voting system within the club to create proportional representation. The equation, I created the equation. We missed that vote by a single vote. The single vote, we missed it at the county level at the party. It was insanely close. But we're going to be introducing that as a rule package. So we're going to be reintroducing it again. But yeah, so I do believe in it to the point where we're trying to change it at the local club level to bring it to forward, so we can start practicing. So we can start practicing, start seeing the results. Because I believe that the San Diego County clubs are kind of like the experimental test chambers of democracy here in San Diego. So we were going to do that wide sweep change, and it was going to change a lot of things. So it's not dead, but it definitely got delayed. But yes, and yes.
Yeah. Kevin, I am Bernie Vest as well. I wrote his ass in last time, and I'll do it again if I have to.
All right.
I don't give a shit.
Fair enough.
That's my president, damn it.
I know. I feel you. I feel you.
What would you like to leave our viewers with? What would you like them to take away?
Well, one thing I think is the fact that we can challenge incumbents and we can win. Don't be afraid of getting into the Democratic Party because it's a ghost ship right now. So you go into your local Democratic Party, wherever you are, you'll realize really quickly that there isn't a lot of people willing to work. So the second you walk in, people are like, oh, a new person. Oh, do you want to do something? Like 70% of politics is showing up. I mean, that's what you do. You show up, you're going to get a job. You're going to be able to get power. You're going to be able to get leadership very quickly. So that's what I say is don't be afraid of your local Democratic Party. Go in there, figure out, assess it, find the other progressives that are dug in deep if you're in a really dug in area, or you'll be able to see progressive leaders at the front and you're going to be like, oh, wow, we're in a good spot. I want to be able to go and meet and talk to them. So I think that's something that I would really suggest the burners to do. I think it's extremely critical because we need the help. I mean, we're holding things together by just the thread sometimes, and those threads move mountains, but we could sure do use a lot of help. And outside of that, I am also a grassroots candidate. So if you could donate, please add me to your donation rotation. I know that you probably have a lot of great candidates on your list already that you're donating to, but we need to make sure that we get all of our strong leadership progressives in as well. And I'm going to try to present and be a leader within our movement to make sure that we have real progressive policy being introduced. And that's what I want to do, is be a policy maker. And you guys will all have access to me, because I'm not going to be bought. I'm going to be able to talk to the people. Just consider me your West Coast AOC. We're going to do a lot of work. So go for joseforcongress.us, and then go to our donate page. Go to my Blueprint for the Future page where my issues are. I am a policy wonk. So the issues that you see, there's I think 5 more in the works right now that I'm putting out soon. So we're going to be putting a lot more work. There's one revision I need to make with the education platform. So if you do go to it, it's we're gonna agree with the Joel Paul, Ilhan Omar, and Bernie Sanders bill. So the mechanisms of how I thought we need to pay student debt are going to change. So that's the only revision that needs to happen on the website. But other than that, please go check it out, rip it apart, be progressive. Call me out if I'm not progressive enough. I truly mean that, and because this isn't my own brain, this is the community's brain. Like this is information that's been worked on and sourced by all of us. We all know the issues. We all know this stuff. And what I had to do was just put policies down on paper, and then come up with real solutions. So yeah, if you believe in these issues, you believe in our campaign, you believe in these issues, donate. I need it more than anything right now because we're just getting started. So I want to blow them out with the next quarter numbers.
Absolutely. And we want to hire him some staff.
Yes.
So that's where donations will go. They'll go far, absolutely. And I think it was Kevin. You said that we make less than CNN. Well, the thing is, I make nothing. I do this for free. I work full time.
Yeah.
I work in healthcare, 40
Yeah.
hours a week. So this is like my, like, you know, my
It will
I
be
don't
your
know, I
full-time
do it
job
because
soon
it
enough.
feels good.
It'll be your full-time job soon enough. And
That's
I
why we
believe it.
need a federal job guarantee.
Yeah, yeah,
So I can
absolutely.
quit my job and
Absolutely.
get paid to do this all day, which would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Oh no, you deserve it. You're a great host.
Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much. Thank you
absolutely.
so much for joining me. This was awesome. You definitely want to take a look at the comments because people are loving you.
Oh, thank you.
So
Thank you.
this is awesome.
Follow me
Um,
on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter as well, please, and
yes.
like my Facebook page. I really need more Twitter followers. Amplify my message, please, as well.
And what is your handle again?
It's at Jose Caballero SD. So Jose Caballero, Caballero SD. That's what it is on Twitter.
Awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Jose.
Yeah,
Best of
absolutely.
luck with everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely send this interview or the website
Yeah.
to anyone you have in that county because we always know people. So even if you share it on Facebook or Twitter, you're still reaching people who will say guaranteed, oh shit, I didn't know someone progressive was running in my area.
That's right.
Never fails, happens
Right.
every time. Thursday, tomorrow, I may go live to just do something by myself, but Thursday, I have Anthony Clark for Congress. He's a cool dude.
Him and I have spoken about the Hero's Promise.
What's that?
We've spoken about the Hero's Promise.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. He
Yeah,
seems like an awesome guy, so I'm
yeah,
looking forward to that.
Yeah, we had a short conversation, and he's a vet as well, so another progressive vet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'll definitely ask him about it.
Yeah,
That's
please do.
rad.
Yeah, yeah. So we're working on it. We're gonna get this passed.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you so much again, Jose. Best of luck with everything. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best. Please always share and follow us on YouTube if you don't already. So thanks again, Jose.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.